Let me make some tea. So, nothing beats a quiet, peaceful life. I hear women on the these days people are talking about like childless women, and I'm a childless woman. And I can tell you there there is beauty in choosing a quiet, peaceful life. I know. Make it quiet, make it peaceful, enjoy your life. That's pretty much where I am at with my life these days. I'm not chasing careers, I'm not chasing money. I just want a quiet, peaceful life. Mainly just peaceful and quiet. I get to sleep, I get to wake up, I get not worry about things. I mean, I've worried about health. The last 1 year, I've been worried about my health, and I'm just happy that it was just that. But it's peaceful and it's quiet, and that's how I like it. And sometimes the peaceful, quiet life can seem to be boring. Hi, Shri. Hello, sister. Hey, love. Yeah. Where are you from? Today I'm wearing my cute wig. It's a wig though. Like, y'all know, if you look from my hair from yesterday, I'm not those girls who shy from wearing wigs. You're from India. Nice. Oh my, let me tell you, my live stream. I'm in California, but my live stream for some reason goes to India more than it goes to anywhere else. So I don't even know why, but it just seems to always go to India because I have a lot of fans from India. Old man and the tree, you are dirty. I don't want to talk to you. Uh, Happy birthday, B person. Oh, how old are you now? And where are you from? I'm in the Orange part, Orange County, south of California. I'm making tea, so if I step out, it's because I'm going to get my black tea. I live, yeah, the airplanes. Oh, you're turning 11. Oh, that's so adorable. You're asking if this is my real voice? Of course, it's my real voice. Hi, Alex Rodriguez. Of course, it's my real voice. What would I do? Fake my voice? I'm not AI. Do I look like I'm AI? You're in Ventura. Yeah, half an hour from me. Marcus, love that. I tell you, it's like when you live a stress-free life, things soften up, even your voice. Oh, do I ever fight? I can be feisty. In life, we all have to fight our share of battles. But you know what I've realized? For me, I fight to protect my softness. That's what I do. My life is geared to be soft, not lift heavy things. Because I used to do that. When you hear people say that there is back breaking work, there is back breaking work. And I used to do a lot of that until I started having problems with my back. And then I realized, and my doctor told me, you just cannot carry heavy stuff, especially on your back anymore. I have to go down, lift things up. And I realized, oh wow, I just have to tell people I don't lift heavy things because of my back. Just that's one way of protecting your softness. Telling people heavy stuff and me, we don't go together. Um, I know that, but in life you have to protect your softness, your higher emotions like happiness, joy, peace, kindness. You just have to protect that. Mudslide, mudslide in your pants. That is so funny. Where are you from? Timon, nice to see you again. No, from Philly, Philly. How's the weather there? It's kind of cloudy here in California. Very, very cloudy. I do fight. I have my share of fights. I'm a black girl. People do have their own share of fights, but I don't fight fair. I only fight to win. Um, it's spring. Yeah, it's spring. I got some flowers. I went walking around yesterday and I got some cute the African daisies. Um, I just collected some flowers and just put a little. I love spring because there's flowers, but sometimes because of the allergies, you're like, oh. But does Philadelphia have a flower, like a state flower? Here we have the California poppies. So they'll be popping in the spring. So that's, what we are looking forward to. And then it's bringing out like, just spring. Everything coming back to life after winter. And it's kind of the same way that we live. Sometimes we go through winters and then things spring back again. That's just the cycle of life. There's death and then there's coming back to life. It's just the way things are. You have to go through the winter so that you can have the springing. And I'm excited that the cold, I'm always excited when it's no longer cold. And I'm looking forward to some sunshine. That's what I like. Let me get my tea. Don't go away. Let me get my tea because I need my fix of black tea, caffeine. So these are the cute flowers that I got yesterday when I went for a walk. I just cut the flowers and put them in a vase, and I think they are cute. I had some others that fell off. Oh, these ones are kind of wanting to bud, like pop out. And I think this is just some little things that you can do for yourself when you're going for a walk this spring. Get a small jar like this, and just put the wild flowers. I like the wildness of them because they're so cute. So I just like wild, cute wild flowers. Let me put them here. Oopsie. Got a lot going on. That's the spring effect. Mudslide. So what are you looking forward to this coming spring? You know, what are your life goals? What are you looking forward to? Anything exciting coming in your life? In an hour's time, I have a doctor's appointment, so this live stream is going to just take on just one, like less than an hour. Uh, so let me see what kind of books lately I'm into. You know, I'm a book reader and I thrive on them. Okay, so I don't know. I bought this book, The Silver Mind Control Method. I am ish when it comes to this book, The Silver Mind Control Method. Okay, maybe I should finish this book before I judge it too harshly. But for me, it struck me like pseudoscience, like a pseudoscience kind of a, you know, it sounded more pseudoscience than anything. This book, The Silver Mind Control Method. I'm not saying that don't read it, but I'm just like, for me, it just came out to be more pseudoscience than, you know, some of the things they said, they might very well be good examples and solid examples. Don't get me wrong. They might very well have good examples in this book, but their explanations were not based in science, or you know how in science we have to repeat a phenomenon so that we can see that, okay, there's a pattern to this, so we can come up with a theory about this kind of a pattern. With this, they didn't give me a pattern. They just had a bunch of stories, but I didn't see the running theme. And it's kind of frustrating for me to read a book like that, because I'm like, you know, it's kind of like reading, it's like, you know what, when you watch a movie, but then at the end of the movie, you're still like, what the heck was this movie about? That's sort of what I felt about this book, The Silver Mind Control Method. Because these people, they are not scientists, they are not like doctors. And when you're going into mental health and you want to understand mental health, you don't want to read from self-help gurus. You want to read from doctors, people who have studied, like people who have a respect for science. That's what I'd say about this book, The Silver Mind Control Method. Like, it's not scientific, it's not based on science. Now, what's a good book to get? I'd say I like, you know, if you watch my videos on YouTube, you know, I've said I like Dan Siegel. In his book Aware, this is perhaps one of the best books that I've read on mental health. This Aware, becoming more aware of your nervous system and how it works, and even when you want to manifest the life that you want. You know, guys, let's talk about manifesting, because we are like stories, and I know that you're going out there and you want to have influencers who will tell you stories about, you know, how they manifested like $1 million in their life, and how they manifested 30 grand in 2 days. I don't like to tell people lies. And I think the more you are prone to hearing those stories, because you're like, oh, they manifested like $30,000 in 2 days, I can do that. The more you're prone to behaving like that, like looking for the easier way out of life, the more things don't happen the way you want. Everything in life that has like long-term benefits usually takes time. Let's say you want to build a multi-million-dollar company. You don't just wake up one day and you just go like manifesting and then it's right there. They're lying to you. They're lying to you, but they know these lies work because as human beings, we have a natural need to not want to use a lot of energy and gain a lot. We want to gain a lot from using less energy. So let me tell you, if you want to use less energy and gain more, if you want to use less energy and gain more, how this actually works. You want to use the least amount of energy and gain more. You have to look at the energy, the human emotional ladder. We have low-level emotions like guilt, shame, apathy, you know, those kinds of emotions. If you dwell on the low-level emotions, that's when you will use a lot of energy to create, to manifest. But if you dwell on high-level energies, if you dwell on high energies like love, courage, willfulness, peace, joy, and you can look at this and go on YouTube and look at videos that get the most amount of views. I'm saying like 100 million views. You will see it's little simple things that people do on their daily lives. Like you'll see people getting millions of views on YouTube for posting photo videos of a chicken or animals, or you know, just chicks. I know on this video had little chicks painted different colors, yellow, blue, green, and it had like over 5 million views. Just chicks doing stuff. You come to realize that human beings, we are very hi Goob. Nice to see you. You realize that people are watching just little simple things in life. The little simple things in life, whether it's multicolored chickens, like people are not that complicated. Most people are not that complicated. And that's why you might think that all these negative videos are getting a lot of views, but they're getting a lot of views because of their shocking factor. Because most people don't want to be in that kind of a shocking factor all the time. Most people just want to sail through life peacefully with the minimal efforts. And I get it. Why do we want like so much effort? Most of us don't want all that effort. But, you know, that's why I think exploiting industries where, you know, it's just that just simple life, simple kind life, you can also make a lot of money as long as you're consistent, because consistency is usually key. A lot of teenagers feel lost in their world, but it's because teenagers, first of all, they have limited knowledge about life, but their body is still growing because they are just young, very, very young adults. They just come from straight from childhood, and now they're having glimpses of the mature adult life. But to be honest, they're still under the protection of their parents because, let's face it, they don't know much about life. They just know what's happening around their school or their hometown and what's on TV, or what they watch on social media. Other than that, they really don't have the life experience to make sense of whatever they're going through. And you find that because of that, even though they said they are not babies, teenagers still like find it hard to deal with small things like pimples on their faces. Just like a pimple or acne, something that's very prevalent with teenagers because of their changing hormones. They tend to have like acne. They get very insecure. They can get very insecure if they think about being popular and riding on that wave of energy, because for them, the people that they are looking at are the popular celebrities, maybe somebody like Tyler, or whoever's famous right now. I don't even care much more. That's when you know you're old, when you don't care about who's famous anymore. But they get too insecure about life. I think if I were to go back to my teenage years, I'd just chill, because this phase, it's a phase and it disappears very quickly. Once all your friends start experiencing their real life, right now they are under the cocoon of their parents, but once they start doing adult stuff, like once they start like having children, having to deal with going to work, doing their taxes, once they start now having to deal with life by themselves, the teenage ego gets hit so many times that they all have to calm down and kind of face life. And then they realize, oh, there's life beyond my school, there's life beyond my parents, and there's life beyond buying stuff on Amazon, or they just now start like opening their eyes, because experience is really what opens up your eyes. So I would say, like, chill. Don't. If I was a teenager, don't worry about the famous kids. Like, just don't worry. And just start planning your life if you can. Just plan your life. It's the planning. It's the planning. It's the planning that matters. Have any one of you started watching With Love, Megan? I've started watching this show with Love, Megan. She's actually a very good cook. Like, let's talk about her cooking skills. I've learned a lot from just watching them cook, because I'm not like a real cook. I don't really cook, but now that I look at it, I'm like, these are simple things that I could have done, like creating sauces with my blender, or grinding herbs and stuff. Like, those are things that I could have actually been doing that are healthy, but I haven't been doing them. So I think there's that too. My Wakanda cup. I've had this cup since the Wakanda movie came out. Knock on wood, it's not broken yet. Goob, what's going on in your life? Tell us. I'm getting a text. What's going on? Where are you from? Tell us. Tell us. You guys. This is so weird. It seems to me that she's not able to close her mouth. Like she literally cannot close her mouth. She's like she cannot close her mouth because of all the fillers in her mouth. She's not able to close it. Let me tell you, you could be, this is the kind of a thing that strikes me. That obviously she's one of the richest women in the world now, but it's the small things in life that people don't have, like lips. Yeah. Yeah. It's the small things. And I'm not throwing shades because I wear a wig. It's the small things. That she is so fit. She has like the thinnest waist. Figure eights. What do you think about this makeup? I would not transform my body like that. I bet you people who do that, they regret completely. Like, so much ink. Like, wow. Her name is Toxic Body Mod. That's weird. Like, why? Why? So what do you do when you have to confront somebody who is doing something that is not making you happy? Because we all still have to fight our own psychological battles. But like this girl is saying, is that, you know, she realizes that her mind goes like, ooh, when she has to go into fight mode, when she has to confront people who are doing things that she doesn't like. We all have to do that with the people we live with, or the people we work with, when they do stuff that we don't like, or even our friends, because people will sometimes violate your boundaries. And when you come from a family where people, like, let's say your parents, when you tell them like you're doing this and they get aggressive or angry, it's like they're training and conditioning you not to speak up your mind and not to say things because you don't want to irritate anybody. You know, you always have to realize that you can live in that slave mentality, slave mindset. You have to confront people with courage when they do things that are not in agreement with your values, or just irritate you, or you're not happy with. You know, kind of like training your mind to also be in that confronting mode, and are realizing it's okay. It's okay. We see this with a lot of reality TV shows where they're very blatant and very, you know, open about the things that they're going through in their life, and confronting the people who are their adversaries in life. That's healthy. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, anybody who wants to make you feel that you should not even be questioning them, that's abusive. I was watching this video where this guy was saying that he needs a wife who doesn't talk back, who listens, who doesn't, you know, it's like he's looking for a slave. And I was shocked, right? Because I could never be that kind of a girl, ever, to anybody. Not even, even as a child, I wasn't like that to my parents. So can you imagine, as a grown woman, somebody says that he wants a wife who doesn't talk back, who doesn't ask questions, who just sits there and listens and get told what to do? And I was like, you're looking for a slave, bro. You're looking for a slave. And I'd rather be single, childless, not having achieved anything whatsoever in life. I don't care how society can call me the #1 loser on the planet. I don't care. But I'm not gonna be that kind of a wife to anybody. Anybody, you know. Like, if you're a guy and you're looking for a wife, somebody not to question you, to just allow you to do what you want to do, that cannot happen. I was watching a reality show and they were going through the prenuptial agreements. You know, if we get married and if we get divorced, you will get this, you will get that, you will get that. And they got to a point where the woman's lawyer was like, now let's talk about infidelity. If there's infidelity in this marriage, you owe her 500,000. And he's like, you're not ready to get married. The gaslighting. She like, I'm telling you that we are in a marriage. If you cheat on me, you're going to have to pay me. And you're saying that I'm not ready to get married. You're not ready to be faithful. You're not ready to keep the family jewels in the family. And I'm the one that's wrong. You know, that's why I tell you guys to just train your mindset. Because God is in your mindset. God is in your mindset. If you don't train yourself to love yourself the way God has loved you, you're going to be the slave. You're going to be the slave if you don't train yourself with a strong mindset the way God wants you to have a strong mindset. If you don't love yourself in this life, it means you're going to come second to everybody, or third or fourth, but you'll never be number one because you don't love yourself. Because you don't love yourself. So obviously, if you go into a marriage and you're telling somebody that if you're unfaithful in this marriage, you will have to pay me 500,000, and they have a problem with that, it means that they had no plans of ever being faithful. Your mindset now is protecting you from this kind of a person because now you can see their true colors. But if you don't even question these things, you don't have the courage. Life begins when you start becoming courageous. Life begins with courage. And if you think about why we get depressed, it's because we lack the courage to wake up every day and face what's ahead of us. That's why we lack the courage. That's why we get depressed. Because if you think of the emotional ladder, it all starts with courage. Like all this level, the lowest level of emotions are guilt and shame, right? And the highest level of emotion, human expression, is bliss, like a blissful life. But where it all starts in the middle is courage. And then you move to willingness, right? And then you move to forgiveness, kindness, all that, peace, joy. All these emotions are the biggest, that's the biggest weight in your life. That's what gets you out of survival mode, is courage. But a lot of people, because they cannot master courage on their own, they're out there drinking. This is why I don't drink and I don't do drugs. So if I tell you something to your face, it's coming from me. I'm not under the influence. If I tell you that I don't like something, it's not like I'm not under the influence. I'm not under drugs. You know, like if I say like you're racist and I get out of my face, I'm just telling you what I think, and that's what it is. There's no sugarcoating. But I'm glad that I have the courage to do that, because now I can tell people to F off, but I mean it. You know, I mean it. That's when you start becoming courageous in life. It's all the emotions that you're portraying, the emotions that you're exuding out of your life are the emotions that are coming at you. I remember when I realized that I could not be bullied. Like when I went into a school where after my parents died, like everybody was kind of like violent, and I realized like I gotta be able to fight. Otherwise, I will not survive this, you know. And I remember when I went to high school and the senior girls were trying to bully me, but they don't know the training that I have had earlier in my life, you know, because they were trying to bully the girls that came from a nice, loving home who've never experienced this kind of violence before. But I had, right? And I knew how to fight. You know, I was aware in the art of war. And soon they realized, oh, leave this one alone, because this girl, you know, you cannot like just bully her. But I mean, I still learned. Like there was this girl in high school who stole my shoes. She borrowed my shoes and then she never returned it. And then when I asked her, she was like, well, you didn't give it to me. And then I realized, wow, people can just come and steal your shit and just lie to you, just like that. It's shocking. It's shocking when you realize that humans have a dark, manipulative side. And if you don't love yourself and you don't have the courage to stand up for yourself, you're always going to be a victim of that side of human beings. You always will be, because if you don't have the courage, if you don't have a moral high ground, if you want to be a good person in life, it's something that you have to protect. That's why we have the law, because the fact that we have the law it should tell you about human nature. There are people out there who don't have a conscience. They can do anything for money to get what you want, what they want, or just, like that's why you have people who rape women, because they just want to get what they want at any cost without having to take any kind of responsibility of taking care of another human being, loving them, cherishing them, all those things, right? um, they feel entitled to other people, but nobody's entitled to anybody. And you kind of have to remind yourself these things all the time, because that's life. That's life. If you want to become a good person in this life, you must have courage. Otherwise, you are going to fall in the wrong side of life. You have got to have courage. Like you see a lot of people standing up for Donald Trump, standing up against him and his evil 2025 project agenda that they have in store for everybody, to make other people's lives miserable. Now, if you don't have a moral high ground, you're not going to stand up against evil. You're just going to roll with it. You won't have the courage. You will not have the courage and to speak up against evil, because evil people don't have boundaries. They just do whatever they want at whatever. They don't have any moral high ground. But that's not the ways of God. In the ways of God, you must have a moral high ground. Whether you're a king or whatever, you must have some type of moral high ground and courage, you know. But there are cowards out there, and they can have power. And if they do, they'll take advantage of everybody else. So if you want to do the right thing, you still have to speak up for what's wrong. And what's shocking for me in America is like, okay, we are rolling back things like segregation, evil things like segregation. And guess what? There are people who are celebrating it because they are cowards. They're just cowards. And they don't have the courage to speak up against evil. In the face of evil, they don't have the courage to say no. They don't. They don't have no moral high ground. So in your life, you've got to know that you're living around a life with people who, like human beings, are like that. You gotta open your eyes and realize what kind of a life you want to live for yourself. And whether you're going to have the courage to speak up, to say no, to stand against things. I don't think there is time to be nice about things. Sometimes you just call the spade the spade. It's not like a big spoon, you know. I don't have more time anymore to waste, like when it comes to society and where it's headed, because I know the racist Republican Party is up for no good. There is no point of wasting a lot of energy to say that. They're rolling back segregation. They're taking away people's rights to health care. Instead of building on top of everything, they're sharing our data. They are deporting people to countries that they didn't even come from. Like, we are losing civility. This civility is our most prized thing that we've worked so many years for. You know how much it takes to civilize the human brain? Even the Holy Bible is still not working to civilize the human brain. It's done a good job so far, but we're still a long way. We're still a very long way. So, well, anyways. Hi, Aditi. Hi, love. Where you from? I'm in California. I'm looking at this. This woman went under transformation to look like Angelina Jolie. Like, why would you want to look like somebody else? Why? You're beautiful the way you are. Thanks. Thanks, girl. Aditi. Yeah, like she was a beautiful girl and she went through this to try to look like Angelina Jolie. Why would anybody want to change their face to look like anybody else? You're already beautiful. And I think people don't believe it when we tell them that they are beautiful and they are one of a kind. And that throughout time, nobody will ever look like them. I don't think people believe it. I don't think so. Like throughout time, nobody will ever look like you because you're like a unique snowflake. You can never forget that. You never have to look like anybody else. You are beautiful the way you are. The way you are. It is. That's the truth. If we are all different, we don't look alike, then we are all beautiful in our own way. There's no competition, right? I don't know why you would look like somebody else. And Angelina Jolie is a beautiful looking woman, you know, but she's also different. She doesn't have all the qualities of a beautiful woman. She has her own little flaws, like every one of us. Nobody is, you know, flawless, but we are perfectly flawed. I don't get it. Oh, Aditi, you like my smile. Thank you. Thank you. I get, thanks. I get a lot of compliments for my smile. It must be very beautiful. So thanks. Thank you. But I honestly think that I find that because a lot of black people have like these pearly white teeth against the dark skin, their smile looks brighter. Just just because when you have a darker skin and your teeth are white, it just, you know, it just makes it more bright. So I guess probably that's why the contrast of like pearly white teeth and dark skin sometimes just brings out some really beautiful smiles. So but thank you. Thanks. I'll take that. I'll take that and roll with it. and I'm a mental health expert. So if you have any questions on mental health, ask away. You're going to get free advice here. Solid, solid advice. Beauty. Somebody said beauty is skin deep. Yes, about mental health. I'm pretty good with mental health. I can give you good advice on things that you can do, people you can talk to, books you can read, um, or even changing mindset. But I have to warn you. Yeah, I can suggest you something. I'm very direct. I don't beat around the bush. When it comes to mental health, I tell the truth because, you know, God is in the truth. As long as you have the courage to listen to the truth, you can have good mental health. I believe that 100%. It's about love, okay. What's your question about love? And anyone, you can ask me any questions you have regarding mental health, whether it's love, health, work. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Because at the end of the day, this is all for your benefit. I do this for your benefit. So he said that he doesn't want to be in a relationship. He told you directly. How do you feel about him saying that he does not want a relationship? So he's already made clear his position. And do you have a problem? Your heart, right? So your heart, because he said he doesn't want a relationship. So let's deal with this heart. Let's deal with this heart, because he already said he doesn't want a relationship. Yes, so he might like you as a person because you're funny and you're this and you're that. But he said to you that he doesn't want a relationship. So you have to realize that there are boys who they don't want a relationship, but they want to have sex and intimacy with somebody, but they don't want to commit to them. Yes, so love, there's passion. Sometimes there is love, there's passion, the attraction, but love also has to have an element of commitment. It's not one thing to have to be attracted to somebody, because I bet you're very beautiful. And you have to understand, like, any man on this planet will want to go to bed with you just for the fact that you're a beautiful woman. But love is not just passion, love is also commitment. And so he is lacking this part of love for you that says commitment. So if you make yourself available to this man, he will want to go to bed with you, but he will not, he does not want to give you commitment. If he has been in the past toxic relationship, it means that he has not healed from the past toxic relationship. And if that is preventing him from giving you commitment, you can tell him to go find healing. I would tell him, go find healing, because you deserve to be in a relationship where you can commit to somebody. And I must love myself enough to let go of people in my life that do not want to get committed to me. This is what will happen when you do that. When you choose yourself, a lot of finding the perfect love is realizing there are people that we fall for in our life, but they don't fall back on us, that they don't fall back. For example, I almost got into a relationship where this guy and me, we had a strong connection, like physical connection. But I noticed, like, when he used to call me, he would not call when he said he would call. So I started realizing that his commitment was not strong. But I realized, for me, I need commitment. I need somebody who sees me like the girl, you know, like that. And that's what you want. You don't want somebody who is not there. So you be the leader in this relationship and decide, like, you decided you're not going to commit to me because you haven't healed from a past relationship. I understand that. So I would say, go heal that past relationship. And when you're ready to be in a relationship with me or commitment, and I happen to be available, because you're not going to be waiting for him, then you can tell him, when you're ready, if I'm available, then maybe something can grow. But right now, it's like trying to put seed on some soil there's no fertile ground. The soil lacks moisture. The soil is lacking um, the vitamins to make the seed grow into a beautiful flower. So right now, you can't plant love in a place where you already know it's not going to flower. Right? So because he already told you he doesn't have the capacity right now to do that. He seems very attracted to you. It is possible for guys to be attracted to you and to want to you know to hit it and quit it. You don't want, because now he's going to be using you for intimacy when he wants from you, and then going away. That's what he wants. He wants you to be in a place where he comes and he's having a lot of emotions with you, and then he's walking away. You don't want anybody in your life to use you like that. You're not there to be used. You're a flower that somebody needs to water. That's how women thrive. It's about, when you think about, as a woman, you want to thrive in your femininity, right? You want to thrive in your femininity. There is no way that kind of woman in you, and I know that you want that feminine part of you to bloom. There is no way it's going to bloom with a man who is an avoidant. So think about it this way. And if you can, I would say, if you can, look for this book, The Attachment Theory of Love. The Attachment Theory of Love. But I'll give you an example of the Attachment Theory of Love and how it works. And maybe this can help you, give you a clear view about what you need in your life. So basically, when a woman is like 6 months pregnant, the nervous system of the baby starts to come back alive. And so she's 6 months pregnant. The baby is already in a kind of like a paradise. If you think about a baby inside the womb, the baby doesn't have to cry because the baby is fed, the baby has food, the baby can, if the baby needs to go to the bathroom, it's happening, the mother will take care of it, it just does it automatically. It's never too cold or too hot for the baby because, I mean, they are in the perfect body temperature. Everything is cared for. Now, when the baby is born, it all depends on the caregiver. If the caregiver is there to feed the baby on time, to help the baby change the diaper on time, to make sure the baby is warm, the baby never really has to cry. But imagine if the caregiver just goes away for hours, leaves the baby cries, and then they come back, and then they just change the baby, feed the baby is restored back to balance, and then they go. The next time they go, the baby will start crying because they don't know when the person is going to come back to care for them. Because this caregiver is sometimes there, sometimes not there, sometimes there, sometimes not there. So do you want to be in a relationship where your man is sometimes there, sometimes there, sometimes there, sometimes there? And at you, they are just coming, not to feed you or to water you or to help you thrive. They're just coming there to use you and then go. Is that the situation that you would want yourself to be in? Do you want to be the thriving baby? Exactly. You want to be the baby where the mom always thinks about, oh, how is my baby doing? Let me come and, my baby is going to wake up at 2 o'clock. So I should be there with my food and my diapers. You want to be the person that somebody is thinking about, not the person that they are there to be with you when they need you, and then when they go, they forget about you. They don't call you, they don't text you. Only when they have their manly needs, they come to you. Now, the women who don't have a man who is committed to them, that's the situation they find themselves in. They become very insecure because this man is making them insecure because he's not committed to them. Now you will start thinking there's something wrong with you, or maybe if I'm more beautiful, if I'm doing like this and that, maybe he'll see that I'm the perfect woman. No, the problem is not you. The problem is you're going to pick, if you choose to be with this man, you're going to pick the wrong person, and then you're going to try to change yourself and alter your image and everything, hoping that they'll come. But this person is avoiding commitment. There are so many reasons that men avoid commitment. Maybe they are attracted to somebody else, or they want to commit to somebody else in the future, or they are not ready financially for a commitment. They don't have the ducks in row. I mean, there's so many things. We don't know what it is. But the good thing is, it doesn't matter what the reason is. It's not your job to figure that one out. It's not your job. Your job is to look like you're not ready for a commitment. Bye. You're not ready to take care of all this, because as a woman, you need a guy who does things for you, not just when they need you. You want somebody who's thinking about you, who's kind of a little bit obsessed about you. That's what you want. And if he's not that guy, he's not that guy. He is not that guy. Now, let's talk about how you move away from that. You start giving the guys that want you a chance. You start giving the guys who want you a chance. But vet them. Even if they want you and you want to give them a chance, vet them. Because what happened if you got pregnant? You need a guy who has a good job, who can take care of the kid. So any guy who doesn't have a career, he's not a doctor, he's not a lawyer, he doesn't just have a good career. Girl, you deserve more. Don't even go there. You vet them. You make decisions like a grown woman, where you're like thinking 10 years ahead. Will this guy be the guy that if I look 10 years ahead, I think he'll be nice? So we are looking at the emotional adjustment of this guy to the guy that you want. You also want, I mean, financially, it's something to look for. Emotional adjustment, you also have to look for that, because some guys, if you're his dream girl, he will try to humble you. He will try to put you down. If you're like this dream girl, he's trying to humble you to make you feel like you're not that big, because people get jealous when they see like this girl. So you don't want to be somebody who just thinks like, oh, right? But again, you don't want somebody who thinks that you're too easy for them. You're too easy and attainable. So you got to figure out the dynamic that works for you in a relationship. But don't look for somebody who is avoidant. A guy who is avoidant is somebody who they don't have their full commitment. They're not fully committed to you. You want to see somebody who is secure. Somebody who is secure, the best predictor that a relationship will work is to be with a partner who is secure. Now, a partner who is secure is like a loving, caring mom. They will know, like, hey, let me call her. I think I haven't talked to her for 2 hours and I need to check on her. Somebody who is secure, they'll do that. They'll check on you. They'll call you. Somebody who is secure, they know she's a girl, she needs flowers, let me buy her some flowers. They're not insecure about loving you or showing you affection or showing that they care about you. Those are the people who, in the long term, their relationship thrives. The relationships that thrive kind of look a little bit boring because there's not too much going around, there's not much drama. Those are the steady, nice relationships that you will end up feeling more feminine. You're going to blossom. That's according to research that I have read. Now, there's so many other cultural factors and other things that might be in play, but naturally, you want somebody who wants you, who wants to commit. There is no two ways about it. I don't know. You almost feel like I gave you good advice. So let me ask you, like, what advice stuck with you? What do you think resonates more with what I've said? Just tell me like what you think resonates a little bit more for you. And mind you, it's very nice to be honest with a guy. Tell him, you're giving me mixed signals, but ultimately I know that you're not committed. And when you break up with somebody and you tell them, okay, all right, yeah, take your call. Yeah, but it's nice to be honest with people and how they make you feel, and communicate how your feelings. Then they can decide, they can decide. But don't short play yourself. Don't try to convince yourself that this relationship is going to work when they've already told you that they're not there. They're not going to stay there in the long run. They've been honest. Take it for what it is. Run. That's what I do. And then thrive. Go there, have fun in life, do amazing things with your career. Let them see that you are doing well. Flourish in your career. Let me tell you, the biggest revenge you can have for somebody who didn't see you as anything. Go out there, make it big in your career. Make it big in your career. I always say, even if they wanted to come back or they don't want to come back, they will see you around. They'll hear you on social media. They'll hear your friends talk about you and how good you're doing. Let the people who did not want you realize that it was their loss. Okay? It was their loss. That's what we do. That's what we do. You know, I I had a boyfriend who, and I always talk about this, who was playing me with another girl, and actually multiple girls, and he got one pregnant and married her. And then, that was that. I was deeply, deeply hurt. I remember just crying, 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 because I was deeply hurt by that relationship. Just realizing that, I was so in love with this person, but they were seeing other people. I was really the last thing on their mind, and I was like, how could I be so in love and so blind to the reality of this relationship? And then time 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 passed. I heard from him 2 years later. He was telling me, oh, he was in the US, and he was like, at that time I was in Kenya. He was like, oh, I'm still thinking about how we can, you making it big and helping you out in your life. And I was telling him, I'm not waiting for you to come to my life and help me out, because I think he didn't see any potential in me. And so he thought that I was just going to be there waiting for him when he's done all these things. I told him, I straight up told him, I've moved on with my life. I'm doing other things in my life. I'm not right there dreaming and thinking about you. And then I met him like 7 years later, and he had a drug problem. I could tell he wasn't sober. He he was on the verge of divorcing that woman, and they had kids. And I was doing good with my life. And I just cherished the look on the face when he realized that, oh, I want her, but she don't want me at all. Because I could not go back to that. Not that, like, he was a junkie, and I'm like, I don't date junkies, sorry. This is just the way life has turned out. And them realizing she was the price. I married the wrong woman. I have been through hell. I'm into drugs, blah blah blah. I just looked at him and moved on with my life. Just let me tell you, always walk away from people who don't want you, because when you try to get into people who don't want you, you're stepping into hell. It's like walking right into your hell. People who don't want you, men who don't want you, if you force them to be in a relationship with you, they will make your life miserable, because they think they're doing you a favor. They'll make your life miserable. That's why I'm like, never ever let people walk. Let people walk. So that's why I am at life with those things. Let people walk. People who don't want to be in your life, let them walk. Because if they stay, they'll make your life hell. They'll make your life hell. You don't have to hold anybody hostage when it comes to love. You don't have to prove anything when it comes to love. We simply love or not love. Who knows the mysteries of the human heart? You can be everything to somebody, but then they'll be like, I don't care. The only thing you can do is love yourself enough to walk away. When people say they will not give you the love that you deserve, just walk away. That's the most loving thing you can ever do to yourself. Choose yourself. Choose yourself. So, well, I hope that advice kind of hit home. When I'm giving you this advice, I'm giving you advice I would give to my daughter, to my best friend, to somebody I truly cherish and care about, that's the best advice I can give you. And I also think it's rooted in sound mental health. You know, once you make up your mind to forget about somebody, start deleting them out of your life completely. There is power in out of sight, out of mind. You don't take their calls. You don't show up to events that they are in. You just don't. When you decide to break up with somebody, it's out of sight, out of mind. They are blocked from your phone, from your social media. They're dead to you. They're alive, but they're dead to you. You kind of kill them, because the more months you go without seeing people, the more they become very irrelevant in your life. They become like zero. They become simply irrelevant in your life. So that's what I do, is get this person out of your life completely. Forget about them. It won't need that. It takes what? It takes like 90 days to get somebody completely out of your mind, to just wipe everything out of your mind. So I'd say wipe them out of your mind. Block them. Don't go to events. Don't pick their calls. Don't go to places they are in. When people want to talk about them, tell them you're not interested. Get that whole energy out of yourself. Get over people. Move on and find new things to do. Like, just don't meet them. If they're jealous of you meeting other people, don't tell them about your life. Let them forget you existed. Kind of like, forget about me, I'm forgetting about you kind of deal. Once they're out of your experience, out of your mind, it's game over. It's game over. Forget about them. Block them. Get them on social media. Everything. Just, this person, they've decided they cannot commit to you. So all you have to do now is to kill everything about them in your life, because you want to forget about them. This is the last thing I'll say, because I need to go to a doctor's appointment. Yeah, just go on the mission to 3 months, forget about them. Let them see you 2 years from now doing good, but become now mysterious. Now that they decided that in this life's journey, they don't want to see it being you and them moving forward. Now it's time to go to the other plan of, I'm going to forget about you, that you ever even existed in my life, that I even considered you to have anything with you. Just now it's like, I'm deleting you, blocking, getting you out of my life. That's what people do who want to be in a healthy mindset. So, love, I gotta go. I have a doctor's appointment. Let's talk tomorrow. Mwah. Love you. Bye.